All right, so I'm going to introduce our team tonight. My name's Claire Wells. I'm a business development manager for Thermomix, and I live in the Canberra region. We've got Kate, who's over in Marulan in New South Wales, and Amanda, who's not far up the road in Mittagong. Is that correct, Amanda? Yeah.
Yes.
And these guys, excellent, will introduce themselves to you and share a little bit about their story as the way.
According to the
And
RNA,
they start presenting. Give me 1 sec. All right, don't worry, Shannon's across all of that muting for us. And Shannon's here in the background helping. She'll be answering your questions in the chat and sharing some links with you guys. So please do ask questions, make this as interactive as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to show you how to caramelize onions. Now, this is exclusive to the TM6. So some of you guys type into the chat what model Thermomix you have, and then we sort of can cater to you. If you have a TM6, this is the recipe that you can do. We have a high heat function with the 6. That means our Thermomix can go up to 160 degrees. The TM5 stops at 120 degrees. And so you can still saute onions, you just can't caramelize them in the same way that you would if you're on your stove. So I'm going to bring you up nice and close, just for those of you that potentially haven't seen the TM6 close up or so we're going to resume my last recipe. Yes, we do know to find those recipes.
Let me get the box.
Sorry, very I probably didn't choose the setting which mutes everyone on their way in. Okay, so I've got here my recipe. Now on your TM6, you've got cookie dough when you swipe that way. You've got time, temperature, speed, and then you've got your mode screen. And all of these modes are pretty amazing. They all have their own role. So I recommend you get your consultant over if you haven't had them around for a while and you're not sure on the modes. They can show you a little bit. We've also got our week, and these are our recipes for today. So we're going to treat you guys. But first up, I've actually got this one in recently cooked. So I'm going to go back to my recently cooked, one of my favorite places, and I'm going to resume that. All right, so taking you back a little step. The first thing I'm going to do is add some olive oil. The great thing about the Thermomix we know is we can control the ingredients and put in any different types of oils or, sugars or whatever we want. Now I've got some onions here, and when we're using high heat in the Thermomix, we want a little bit of resistance on the blades. And so I've cut these ones into wedges. And so that's going to create that little bit of resistance so that my Thermomix can work its magic. So that goes in. And then it asks for my splash guard, which is this one. What this does is it locks the lid on and allows the steam to escape without the splashing. So you won't get splashed with any hot oil. That one goes for 20 minutes. And what you can see up here, this little symbol is the high heat symbol. So that one, if you are using a TM5, you'll just put it in at 20 minutes, max temperature, which is Varoma, and you'll just turn it to speed 1. All right. Over to you, Amanda. You are kicking us off. Do you want to share what you're making and then a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I wish we had higher benches because I'm sort of half crouching here. This is stupid. But anyway, I'm Amanda and I'm in the Southern Highlands around Mittagong area. I've been a consultant now with Thermomix nearly 13 years. So it's pretty crazy. I can't believe that it's been that long. And yeah, what else did you want me to share? Sorry.
Whatever you would like. Otherwise, you're good. You're happy just to cook. That's totally fine as well.
Yeah. Thermomix as a business has been amazing. Met beautiful, wonderful people, have an amazing team and leader. And it's just such an easy, I think, business to have if you need flexibility and time. So it's a healthy business to have as well because you eat well. Talking about healthy, I'm making cream. So whipped cream and butter and a stunning buttermilk bread. So I'll get going on that one. I'm not a big dairy person, and whipping cream could be a bit interesting, but the good thing is that we'll be making butter from that too. So I've actually had my bowl in the fridge getting cold because it whips a lot better when it's cold. And I've got my where is it? My butterfly, which goes on top. And I'm going to actually, you can use the guided recipe. I love the little videos that they have there to show you how to use all the bits and pieces. I'm going to use 600 grams of pouring cream. And it's interesting how they don't quite give you the right amount of weight of cream when I weigh it out. And then we're just going to literally whip it. Probably, we won't set a time at this point because we're going to listen to it. I'll just take that to 3. So the good thing with Thermomix is if you actually listen to what the blades are doing, what the sound of the contents is doing, you can tell, you know, if you're, say, grinding nuts or something like that, milling nuts, you can tell by the sound of the clatter against the bowl that it's working. And at the moment, as it doesn't splatter, I don't know if you can see any of that.
It usually starts to splatter once it's done, doesn't it? Oh no,
Yeah.
once we've done, that's when we made butter. Sorry, we're going to stop before we get there.
Yeah.
So what you like, I do cream quite a lot, and what you'll find is if a cream is quite thick, then you don't put it in for very long. And Amanda's put it at speed 3, which can take a little bit longer, but you're also, if you turn it to speed 4, sometimes it goes over really quickly. And so even though you can't hear it, Amanda will be listening out for it. As soon as it starts to sound thicker, she's going to slow it down.
I'll listen to it.
Oh, you've got another camera, don't you? Let me find that. It popped up and then it disappeared.
What was that? Sorry?
Your other camera.
Yeah.
I haven't put it on the screen yet. Oh, here we go.
Oh, pretty noisy. I can't hear.
There we go.
Okay, not liking you. Thank you.
So
And
does anyone,
if you can, if you're in the supermarket and you've got cream that's on the shelf with an expiry date, I always track. Oh, you can hear the sound of it now. It's changing. I'm going to slow it down. Quick, have a look. Oh, there we go. Blabbering away. So you can see how perfectly whipped that is.
and if you go slightly over, you just have to make butter instead.
We're going to do. Right.
So I find when it's coming to the, just one tip, when it's coming to the end, when you're starting to look, so I would watch it the whole time through the hole in the lid. And as it starts to whip, I slow it right down to maybe a speed 2, sometimes a speed 1. Otherwise, it's really quick to go over. Such an effective whipping device. So yeah, just keep an eye on it if you really want that perfect cream. And it's better to underwhip than overwhip in the Thermomix. All right, Amanda, where are you taking us now?
We're going to butter now. So I'm just getting out of that. We've inserted the butterfly whisk. I've got the cream in there. And we're going to start the speed selector to up to 4. Whoops.
That's hello. Wow. Should we open it? Open. Let's see what's inside.
Sounds like an interesting kids show. So yeah, you definitely want to have the measuring cup on towards the end of the cream, don't we, Amanda?
We do. It's starting to turn now. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, definitely can see it starting to separate.
Yeah.
And you'll hear the sound changes. So what is the sound? What would we listen out for with the sound?
You can see the whole machine is starting to shake as well. Sorry. Right. It's starting to separate. And I might just go a bit further.
So I find if you pinch, if it looks like it's done and you pinch it, it kind of crumbles a little bit. It needs just a tiny little bit longer.
It's not quite crumbling yet. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Here we go. I'll just go get the water.
And it kind of does like a little dance. So you'll hear it start to go ch, 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 and then you know that the buttermilk is separated from the butter.
Wow, wow. It was starting to splatter. Okay. Now we're going to remove the whisk out of there. And you can see how it's all, you've got all that beautiful buttermilk there. We are going to use and we're going to strain that in with a simmering basket to get the buttermilk. So I've got my simmering basket here, which I'm putting on top of a...
Amanda, do you want to show how to strain through the basket in the bowl by putting the basket into the bowl? Yeah, awesome.
Do it that way too?
So
Awesome.
sometimes we do that and sometimes we do it the other way.
Here we go. That's much easier, isn't it? Right, beautiful. And if you want to really literally milk it, you can push the butter to the side of the bowl and squeeze a bit more juice out of it. Buttermilk, sorry. And quite a bit more in there.
Yeah, it's good. Don't want to waste that.
That's gold. And on we go again. We get to wash it. So we're going to add 500 grams of chilled water. And washing it will help extend the life of the butter as well. Put a bit slightly over there. And there we go. And if we go for another 3-4 couple of seconds. And we can just do you add that to that as a second?
No, you can, I would just tip that one down the sink.
Yeah, I do the same too.
Yeah, awesome.
Probably give it to my chooks, they'd love it.
Yeah, my chooks eat everything. You cannot overwash your butter. No. The more you wash it, the longer it's going to last. That looks amazing.
Fantastic. Great. So what's next? We can actually put it down onto some Glad wrap and roll it. And the nice thing with the butter is that you can add garlic to make garlic butter. You could, there's all sorts of different flavors of butter that you can use. And I put mine in a container and I've actually frozen the last lot that I made here.
Yeah, great idea.
The container. There's butter's expensive again, isn't it? With everything going on.
And that's why if you can buy, you know, cream that's close to its use by, it's so much cheaper to make your own butter.
It is. And sometimes I'll pick it up and actually squeeze it. Squeeze. Oh, it feels amazing.
Yeah. definitely want to squeeze it, otherwise it's a bit watery, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go. And so we've got those beautiful butter cloches in the mix shop, haven't we? Which you can put it into.
The cheesecloths. What is
No,
it?
the butter cloche.
Oh, the butter bell.
Yes, the bell, sorry.
Yes, I have one. Here it is.
Yes.
Butter bell. Yes.
ये देखना
So,
हाँ टेम्पररी मीट है वो
Amanda, what is it that makes the butter bell? So, like, why would we use this?
Well, it's perfect to just leave out and keep it at room temperature if that's what you want. If it's freezing summer, you can just keep it in the fridge and, you know, scoop it out and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. And so we put a little bit of water in here. And so the butter goes into here. You put a little bit of water in the base. And once that goes in, it creates a seal. And so the bacteria can't get into the butter as long as it's sitting in the water. And obviously you want to change the water often. But yeah, that's the benefit of the butter bell.
Fantastic. So the next thing we're going to do is the buttermilk bread. I've just got to grab my other bowl. I forgot to grab it, sorry. Benefits of having a second bowl. It's recently cooked. And here we go, the buttermilk bread. We start. And what does that say? You're about to.
I think it's saying you have to cancel your other recipe. Are you okay to do that? Yeah, good.
Thank you. Now it's asking for our buttermilk. 180 grams of that.
And whatever you don't use of the buttermilk, you can freeze as well.
Next. And then 200 grams of water.
If anyone's tried any great bread recipes, feel free to share them in the chat. If you've had any fails with bread and you're not sure how to do it, just ask us a couple of questions and we'll see if we can answer them for you.
In fact, instead of when I got to 200 grams of water, because I've made another loaf today, I just used all the buttermilk and then added the balance of water. So, and it's turned out beautifully. We've got 2 teaspoons of yeast going in there, and that's just going to gently warm at 37 degrees, which is body temperature, for about 3 minutes.
Okay, great.
The yeast.
So while that does that, I'm just going to quickly share with you cookie dough. Just give you a quick little overview in not very long, so we don't have long. If you're still working out how to use cookie dough, jump into one of our cookie dough sessions. And if we don't have one on, let your consultant know that you'd love to learn a little bit more about cookie dough because there's so much to do in here. So I wanted to show you guys, for anyone wanting to find some recipes, search is one of your best friends. You can search through using filters. The other thing you can do is search through collections. So I wanted to show you high heat today. So I want to go in, find some high heat collections. Search that one. And what that does is it brings up all of the collections that are centered around high heat cooking. And so tonight I'm doing onions. You might choose to do vegetables. You might just want to know how to do high heat basics. So high heat's you can't actually use high heat manually. You have to use a recipe. And that's why I think it's really handy to know how to find the high heat recipes that are for the basics. So if you have some chicken cubes and you want to brown them, in your Thermomix. You can actually just find this recipe. So sautéed chicken cubes or sautéed chicken strips, whatever it is that you want to do, and go into that, and it will set the high heat for you. Just keep in mind, you do need to have very close to the weight quantities that the Thermomix asks for. Sometimes I do more, which is fine with browning meat in high heat, but as soon as you go to sugar stages, you've got to be exact. Yeah, so just have a little play around, but that's sort of an easy way to do that. Now, I tend to also look at star ratings. So if something has, you know, 54 star ratings at 4.9 stars means this is a pretty great recipe. A lot of people have said, yep, it's great. And so if I loved it, I would then star rate that. I could cook it today. I could add it to my week, a collection that I've got. So you can create your own cookbook collections here. I've got my favorite breads, dinners, breakfasts, sides, basics, gluten-free, snacks, sweets. And the really cool thing is you can actually share those collections with people as well. So that's a little bit about searching in your Explore, going to collections. The other place to get inspiration, what's new on Cookie Do, if you've personalized your Cookie Do, it'll come up with things that might be relevant to you. And these are always changing. So yeah, if you're sort of a little bit like, oh, I don't really know what to make, this is a great place to come. Awesome. How are you looking, Amanda?
It's great timing then.
Perfect.
Okay. So we've actually, it's cooked and warmed up the milk a little bit and the water, sorry, the buttermilk with the yeast. And we're going to add 500 grams of baker's flour, which I have pre-weighed. And goes. And a teaspoon of salt. I've got this beautiful natural seaweed salt. We always put the salt in on top of the flour, so it's not touching the yeast. Otherwise, it will deactivate the yeast. This is a quick mix. And we'll just keep the lid on, and we want to, I'll just show you quickly actually before. There's a quick mix there. And you can see how it's combined all that water liquid with the flour so quickly. And then we're going into the dough function, which will, what's the word? Knead. 3 minutes. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, that's my onions. So maybe while we wait for your Thermomix to knead, I will show the onions. So it has obviously called me. It says to add 20 grams of water. Now, I've got my MC, and there's the little section in the bottom of the MC is actually 20 mils, 20 grams. So I'm just going to tip that in and see how accurate. Close enough, 16, 17. Couple of pinches of sea salt. And I will give it a little bit of a scrape. So I'm just going to show you guys what's been going on in there. And look at this. This is just oil and onions. So you will have a bit of caramelized onion on the browning on the bottom of your bowl, just like you would if you were cooking on the stove. So that water that I've put in is actually going to help loosen that a little bit and add that as a caramelization to the onions. So 4 minutes, 120 degrees, and I put my basket on instead this time. And the beauty of a glider board is I can move my Thermomix around on my bench. Do you have those too, Amanda?
I do. And you know what's great with this, Claire, is that normally you have to just watch your Thermomix as it's kneading, because it can tend to do a bit of a dance around the bench, but with a glider board, it's really solid. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, I love that too. I feel safe leaving it on the edge of the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, super.
There was a question earlier, Amanda, about what brand of cream you used.
The brand of cream.
Yeah.
I use good old Aldi cream. It's just the pouring cream.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. And do you find pouring cream is the best one to use, pure cream or pouring cream?
Yeah, pure cream is the best because it's got the good fat in it. Anything you don't really want to use thickened cream because it's got other bits and pieces in it. So you can if you're at a pinch, but it is better to use a pure pouring cream. And you can add, you can sweeten it as well. Add some little bit of vanilla essence. You can add a bit of sugar to it, just to give it a different dimension. A bit of cinnamon, so that's yummy.
Nice. Cinnamon butter, cinnamon honey butter. We make that at Easter, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Amanda, have you ever made the Portuguese bread?
Have I what? Sorry?
Made the You haven't?
No. Have you?
Okay. I have. There was a question in the chat about it from Jennifer. So I love the Portuguese bread. It is my favorite. What you do need to do with it though is you need to let it prove all the way till it's pushing on the lid in the bowl. So you prove that one for a couple of hours. And you do really have to do the 40, it's about a 4-hour to 5-hour recipe. Once you've done the 40 minutes of hydration, 2 hours to prove in the bowl, if it's still not touching the lid, then I would keep proving it. And then you don't beat it down. So you just tip it out, tuck it under gently, and then allow it to bake. So I'm not sure if that's how you did it, Jennifer. But yeah, it shouldn't have been dense because that one's quite a light one.
Wow. So you'll notice with the buttermilk dough, it is quite sticky compared to your just normal basic bread. But the trick with to release it out of the bowl is to turn it upside down onto your Thermomix mat or onto a floured surface and twist the blade so it actually releases like that. And the best thing is, in order to not get it all over your hands, is just spray a little bit of olive oil in your hands and you can pull more of it out. The other thing we do is to get even more out off the bowl blade is put it back on, just exit out of this and turn it up to about speed 8 to quickly flick anything off the blade. You can do that with any recipe, which makes it a lot neater. You can see how it's just flicked off. Get the residual of that. And I think that is what we're going to do is then wrap it up in the firmer mat and let it prove for half an hour.
So mine's also done. And so here you can see my caramelized onions. The water has actually loosened up a little bit of that browning and given it that really caramelized texture and taste. So I'm just going to put that into my mini thermo server. I think you can actually get these. Is that sale still on in the mix shop? Does anyone know? I think it might be actually. There's a sale, and this mini thermo server, which is the 0.5 litre, this little one, it's so good. I love it for sauces, hollandaise, small amount of onions. But yeah, you can get this reduced price in the mix shop at the moment. That will keep my beautiful caramelized onions, amazing, thank you, Leanne, hot. And what I'm going to do now, because there is this little bit of browning, and that's okay, I'm going to put it onto my pre-clean browning mode. So if you've got a TM6, you can actually go pre-clean. Amanda's going to do dough mode for hers. I'm going to do browning for mine. Mine will probably take about 15, 20 minutes. Little dash of detergent and good to go. Damn, the mini sold out. Oh, so sorry. I shouldn't have promoted that one. Oh, well, put it on your to-do list for next time. I mean, your to-buy list, your wish list. Okay, I'm going to unspotlight. Thank you so much, Amanda. I think we're done watching you, aren't you? Have you shown the, oh, yeah, show the end result. Beautiful.
Go. It's a beautiful, beautiful loaf. It I had it in the bread tin, which comes from also the mix shop, and I did use oh my gosh, I'm having a brain freeze. Sorry, the sensor. So that censored the cooking time, and it was baked perfectly.
Ah, perfect. Love it.
Thank you. I can eat this now.
You can. Thank you, Amanda. All
Thanks,
right,
everybody. Bye.
Kate, we are over to you. What are you making for us today?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be making some cooked mayonnaise, and then I'm going to make a coleslaw using the mayonnaise as the dressing. So I'll introduce myself first. So I am Kate Highland. I grew up in the Highlands, and now I live just down the road at Morawlin. I've been doing Thermomix for a bit over 10 years, and it's been wonderful for me to fit in with my life and my children. And I absolutely love my Thermomixes. I have a few collection, you might say. Anyway, I'll get into it. I could talk about Thermomix all day, but I'm going to make cooked mayonnaise. So I've got it on the screen already. I've just I had it saved into my weekly planner in Cookie-Doo. So I've gone to my week, and then I just press on start cooking. So the first thing, it wants me to weigh the oil, and I'm using grapeseed oil today. Sometimes I'll use avocado oil or macadamia oil or rice bran oil if you want a cheaper option. It works out absolutely beautifully. But I've already weighed that, so I just skip ahead, set it aside. Yes, beautiful. Now, it wants a teaspoon of sea salt. I'm like Amanda, and I have seaweed salt. So, teaspoon of salt, and then 30 grams of white vinegar. Now, so next, simmering basket on top. Yep. I'll just go and get my simmering basket.
I always do that. I've got a whole drawer for Thermomix parts and a whole drawer for thermo servers. I think I counted there's like 13 thermo servers in my bottom drawer.
There we are. Safety first. So it's just warming up the vinegar and the salt for me. And then we'll add in the eggs and add the oil. You'll see just how quick this is to make your own mayonnaise. And I wish you could taste the mayonnaise because it tastes so much creamier and nicer than the store-bought stuff. It's really, and also with the vinegar, it's just got that tang, which I love. It's very nice.
Yeah, and it's safe to eat too because this cooked mayo is definitely by far the best one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, there's no raw egg in this, so it does actually get cooked. Yeah, which I think is very important for a lot of people. Food safety is a very important thing. But the other thing I wanted to tell you is flavored mayonnaises. You can make like a garlic mayonnaise, which I guess would be like an aioli. Or you can also do, on the recipe, there's a mustard mayonnaise, which I haven't made, but I love mustard. So you could definitely add some mustard to your mayonnaise to make it taste really yummy.
I think the cool thing
So up
about
to 85 degrees now.
Kate, is that we don't use the butterfly, do we?
We don't. No.
Which
No,
is
so there's hardly anything to wash up.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds, we used to be so specific about putting the butterfly in for mayonnaise and drizzling and making, and this one just whips it all up.
Does. Yeah, so I can preview my next step and let you know. So the next step says to crack 2 eggs into a bowl, which I've done, and then does something for 30 seconds. And then we add the eggs. There you go.
Yeah, I love preview mode. If anyone hasn't done preview mode, I don't think the TM5 has a preview mode, does it?
No, no, it doesn't. No, I've still got my 5.
Oh, you've still got it. Oh, good. You'll be the
Mode.
person I come to ask.
Yeah, it does not have preview mode, and I use it so often. And so when I do use the TM5, I miss it. I miss it. It's so handy to be able to look ahead rather than I used to have to look on my phone to see what the next step was on Cookie Do. Anyway, the perks.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's got 10 seconds to go. It's up to 100 degrees, so it has heated right up there to 100 degrees in that time. Okay, so it says turn speed selector to speed 3. Meanwhile, follow the next step. So I do that up to 3. And then we add the eggs through the mixing bowl lid. 1, 2. Then mixes those. I apologize if I'm a bit tall. It's awkward getting the right camera angle.
Amanda and I were saying the same thing. We both have to like crouch
Yeah.
down. Yeah, we need like a high bench just for cooking classes.
Exactly. All right, click on next. So measuring cup goes in again. So popping the measuring cup back in, we turn it to speed 6, and then we're going to add the oil. Okay. Very slowly.
So you've only got what, a minute and a half? Is that correct?
I can't hear what you're saying.
I think the recipe only gives you like a minute and a half. And so when I go really slow, I get to, 20 seconds to go and I've still got half a jug left. And I'm like, oh my God, I've got to speed up. I mean, you could just put more time on, but it just obviously it can be emulsified in that minute and a half successfully. And so what Kate, you'll be able to see with what Kate has there is there's actually a little gap under the front. So where the little snout is, I don't know, I just made that up. I don't know what that's called. The little spout, you've actually got, that's where the holes are underneath the MC. So if you want steam to go out, you just turn it wherever that little spout is. And that's also where you want to drizzle the oil onto. Does it sound, what does it sound like? How do you know it's thickening, Kate? She can't hear me. So you can hear the density of the blade spinning. If it's really liquidy, it won't be emulsified. So yeah, you want to hear a thick sound when it's spinning.
Done. That's it. Let's have a look.
It's thick. Look at it on the lid.
Look at that beautiful. Gorgeous. Oh, yum. Look at that.
And the other thing
delicious
I know about this mayo is it does thicken up a little bit more in the fridge as well. So if it seems slightly runny, don't worry, because once you put it in the fridge, it will definitely get thicker.
So I'm just going to put some in this jar. I actually probably should have got a larger jar.
Do you want to show
I'm scraping that how thick it is? Sure.
You know how we can use the lid as a funnel? Amazing. And because it's
yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Because it's a warm mayo.
I can pour that. It is very warm at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it will thicken.
So over there, and then I just pour through that into the jar, and that makes a decent amount. You definitely get quite a few serves out of this, and it will actually last in the fridge for up to 2 weeks if you don't eat it all. Now I'm going to leave most of that residue. I'm going to leave that in the bowl for my coleslaw. Okay. There. Finish. Now I go back into my week. and then into the coleslaw recipe that I had saved for today. Start cooking. So I've got all my ingredients here in the bowl. So I've got cabbage, carrot, red onion, and green apple. Okay, so just pop. Apple cut into quarters. I've taken the core out. That's it. The skin stays on. Get all that beautiful goodness from the skin. There's some red onion there. I'm just going to do this. I know it's all there, but we're just. Does anyone else do that? We know it's there. So the cabbage, 200 grams of cabbage. Okay, and then we do a pinch of salt to taste. And I don't put the pepper in because my kids don't like pepper. And then the mayonnaise, which is already in there. Okay, so we're just going to pop that lid back on. And instead of putting the measuring cup in, I actually put the spatula in through the lid like so. And then I've got the timer set for 2 seconds. It's automatically set for 2 seconds. And then we're going to turn it up to speed 4. Okay, so 2 seconds. All right, next. Have a look. But it's still really chunky. So all we're doing here is scraping down the sides of the bowl. Excuse my underarm. Scraping that down. And then.
Hey, Kate.
Next. Yeah.
Why do you put the spatula in?
Why? To move the things around more. It helps to get everything incorporated.
Awesome.
I
And
think
if we didn't, it would just chop underneath, but stuff would stay floating on
that's
top.
right. Exactly. It helps. Yeah, it helps to get all the top stuff. And we don't actually do it the second time. It just says insert measuring cup. So as instructed, measuring cups in. Another 2 seconds on speed 4. Now we have the timer set because we don't want to go too long because the Thermomix chops so efficiently. It goes for, salad. You want salad, or do you want to make soup or puree? So 2 seconds, then we have a look. If you want to do it more, you do it more. Next. Okay, so it says repeat if necessary until desired consistency is achieved. So however you like to have your coleslaw, that's how you chop it. I like it fairly fine. So I normally do longer than this, but some people like it really chunky. So I love that you can choose how you want to have your own coleslaw. It's so good.
So true.
So there's still one chunk of cabbage there that hasn't quite, because I did put it in very chunky, but the rest of it's actually looking pretty good. You can see there, it's really on the way. Okay, so I'm actually going to do another 2 seconds. I'm happy with that length of time. So I just go back. I've just pressed the back button.
Is that
Let me
on
just do that again.
reverse or is that on forward? That's on forward.
Is that what?
Forward or reverse?
Forward.
Yeah, cool.
Sharp side.
Yeah, awesome.
Sharp side of the blade. Yeah. Okay. That looks really nice. Just put the lid over there. I'll pour this out so you can see. That is just beautiful. Look at that. How fresh. Making your own mayonnaise and then making your own beautiful coleslaw. That is so good. I do love coleslaw though. And I love it with a lot of mayonnaise too. Yum.
It looks like you've
So
got
that is the coleslaw.
I was going to show these guys the cutter version actually, because we do have the cutter available now as a host reward. Your coleslaw can look a little bit more like the grated traditional style coleslaw. So Kate did the really quick, easy version, and anyone who doesn't have a cutter, and it tastes the same. But this one just has a slightly different texture. It's definitely one of my favorites when I'm using the cutter. And so same sort of ingredients, apple, onion, carrot, and cabbage. You just funnel it through. So if you do want to see the cutter in action, talk to your consultant, get them over, get them to show you a little bit about it. and it is a host reward. So you can get one. Yeah.
I'm just going to say someone's asked how to put it on reverse. I'm just going to show you my screen. And on the blade, you'll see the blade symbol. Just tap on that. If it's going to tap for me, tap on the middle of that and you'll see it change. Tap on there and it goes back to a blade. I hope that's helpful.
Awesome.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Cool. That's it for me.
I'm going to bring Amanda back on because we've almost done. Just a couple of things I wanted to share with you guys. So hopefully you've learned a little bit, been inspired to try some of the basics in your Thermomix. We do in-person cooking classes as well. So look out for your local area. Again, talk to your consultant. If you're not connected to a consultant, reach out to us either through the website or just through the website. You'll come through to the local team and we'll connect you with someone. We've also got, if you have thought about becoming a consultant, you've already got your business tool on your kitchen bench. You just need a Thermomix and a business kit. The business kit has a thermoserver, a thermomat, a travel bag, some amazing things. And it's just $75 at the moment. So it's half price till the end of the month for that one. Amazing startup. And yeah, if you're loving your Thermomix, what a great way to make a little bit of extra money on the side, but also share it with people and help us get a Thermomix at the heart of every home. We've also got the TM5 trade up that has been extended just for another week into July. So if you do have a TM5 and you've been thinking about upgrading for a while, you get to keep your 5 and upgrade to the TM6. So again, reach out to your consultant. And yeah, let us know. I'll send a follow-up email so that you can ask any questions that weren't answered today. I'll share my gluten-free favorites because I could see that they came up into the chat. I just haven't had a chance to respond, but I'll share those in the email as well. And look out for any gluten-free classes that we have running as well. We do virtuals and in person. Huge thank you to Amanda and Kate for sharing their years of knowledge and experience in Thermomix and cooking. And thank you so much, Shannon, for adding everything into the chat for our people today. Have an amazing night, everyone, and see you at the next one.